So, welcome to the lecture number 4 of compiler design. In this lecture, we will go through what is a lexeme token, then we will go through lexical analysis, then different DFS for representing different program elements, then error handled by lexical analysis, then what is a lex, that is a lexical analyzer generator. Okay, so first, what is a lexeme? So, lexeme is a sequence of characters that forms a token of the language. What is a token? Categorization of lexeme is called as token. So let me go through one example. So if I will write a small C program over here, integer main integer x. So now here you see, so the lexical analyzer will do what? It will scan character by character from the source program. So first it will scan I, then it will scan n, then it will scan t. Then what it will do? It will group the characters into a meaningful sequence that is called as lexeme. So here int is a lexeme. Okay, and int belongs to which category of token? Whether it is an identifier or it is a keyword or it is a literal or it is a comment line or it is a operator or it is a separator. It's a keyword. So int is the lexeme, whereas keyword is the token. So what is a lexeme? Lexeme is nothing but a sequence of characters that forms a token of the language. Whereas what is token? Categorization of lexeme. So that lexeme belongs to which category? That is called as token. Okay. So now let us go through lexical analysis. So lexical analysis is the first phase of compiler. It is also called as scanning. Okay. So the lexical analyzer scans character by character from the source program and groups the characters into meaningful sequences called as lexemes and checks whether the lexeme is a valid token of that language or not. So if it is not a valid token, then what it will do? It generates an error which is handled by the error handler. But if it is a valid token, then what it will do? So if the lexeme is a valid token, then for each lexeme it produces a pair such as token name and attribute value. So let me go through one example. Let me take a small C program like this. Now after the lexical analysis, it will generate token name and attribute value pairs like this. So here what it will do, it will scan character by character from the source program. So first it will scan the first character M, then it will scan the character I, then it will scan the character I, then it will scan the character N. Then what it will do, it will group these characters into a meaningful lexeme. So main is a lexeme. So what is the corresponding token? It is an identifier. So you know that the main is a function name. Name means it is an identifier. Then it scans next character, that is open bracket. So this is a special character. Close bracket. This is a special character. Then curly bracket. This is a special character. Then it scans I and T and it groups into meaningful sequence that is called as a lexeme int, which belongs to keyword category. So similarly, it scans character by character from the source program and groups the characters into meaningful sequences that is called as lexeme. Okay, then it checks whether that lexeme is a valid token or not. So for this, in order to identify whether a lexeme is valid token or not, the lexical analyzer must have to represent the tokens of the language. So all the tokens of the language should be specified or should be known to the lexical analyzer. And another one is suitably recognize the tokens. So once it has the knowledge of all the tokens, then there should be one mechanism that will assist to recognize the tokens. So in order to specify the tokens, it uses regular expression, whereas in order to recognize the tokens, it uses deterministic finite automata. For example, suppose you want to represent all the valid identifiers. So identifiers means what? It starts with an alphabetic character or underscore, so A to Z or small a to Z or underscore. So it starts with an alphabetic character or underscore. Then it consists of alphabetic, numeric and underscore characters. So after that what you can keep, after that you can keep A to Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9 and underscore. So it's star. So any combination of this. So it starts with an alphabetic character or underscore, then it consists of a number of alphabetic, numeric and underscore characters. So this is how I have specified the identifier. So by using the regular expression, what we will do, we will specify all the tokens of the language. Then in order to recognize a valid identifier, I have to draw the deterministic finite automata. So now let us go through the identifiers. So in C, the identifier starts with an alphabetic character or underscore, as I have already told you in the previous slide. So here you see letter underscore represents what? It is either A, B, capital A to Z, similarly small a to Z or underscore. So here you see previously in theory of computation what we have studied, we have used the plus operator for representing the OR operation. So 0 plus 1 star means what? 0 plus 1 star means what? Any combination of zeros and ones. So here instead of plus I will use this OR symbol. Okay. So digit is represented by 0 or 1 or dot 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 9. Then what is an identifier? What is the regular expression for identifier? It starts with a letter or underscore. Then it consists of any combination of letter or underscore or digit for any number of times. So this represents the identifier of the C programming language. Next, let us go through for representing unsigned numbers. So unsigned numbers are represented like what? So it may be either 5280 like a simple number, whole number, or it may be a real number like 0.0014 or 6.336 e to the power 4. So here you see, here we have represented it in exponential form. So there are two notations of real numbers. One is dotted decimal form like this and another one is exponential notation form. So 6.336 e to the power 4 is nothing but this is equivalent to 63360. E to the power 4 means 10 to the power 4. Similarly, 1.89 e to the power minus 4. Minus 4 means the decimal symbol will move 4 positions towards the left hand side. So here in order to represent this through a regular expression, what we will do, we will start from digit. So digit may be represented as 0, 1, dot 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 9. Okay. So digit may be any maybe any character or any symbol from 0 to 9. Then digits is nothing but it will start with a digit, then it will consist of any combination of digits. That is, it will start with either 0, 1 or 2 or 9. So let me start for this one. It starts from 5. Then it contains the combination of 0 to 9, that is 280. So this is the regular expression for digits. Next, optional fraction. So optional fraction means here you see, here in this number there is no fraction. So the fractional part is optional. Okay. So if there is a fractional part, you should have a decimal point dot. Then after that you should have any combination of digits. So dot digits. Digits means this one. Digit into digit star. Right? Not into digit concatenation, digit star. So as it is optional, either you will have a dot digits or you may have an epsilon. Similarly, optional exponent. So here you see you are having the exponent part. So this is optional. Either it may have or it may not have. So what do you have? So if you are having an exponential part, so it should start with e. So it has started with e. Then plus or minus. Here you see there is no plus or minus symbol. It means by default it represents plus 4. But it may contain a plus or minus symbol. As here you see, here it contains a minus symbol. So the plus and minus symbol are again optional. So plus, minus or epsilon. So out of plus, minus, epsilon it may contain anything. Then the digits. Digits means any combination of 0 to 9 star. So as it is optional, excuse me, so as it is optional, it may either contain this much or it may contain epsilon. Then we will go through the real number. So the real number consists of what? The real number consists of digit, then optional fractional part, and optional exponent part. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood how to represent an unsigned number. So I have told you the regular expressions for representing an identifier and for representing an unsigned number. So now the extension of regular expression. Since Neil introduced regular expression in the 1950s, there are many extensions that have been made to the regular expression. So here, in order for our easiness, we will use three extensions. One is one or more instances. So here you have already studied one thing, that is zero star. Zero star is nothing but any combination of zeros. So zero, it may be epsilon, it may be zero, sorry, it may be zero, it may be zero zero, like this. So if you want to represent, or if you want to exclude epsilon, then we can use one thing that is called as 0 plus. So I have already told you, in regular expression in theory of computation we have studied plus for union operation, but here what we will do, we will use OR operator, as I have suggested over here. We will use OR operator for OR operation. Okay, so here we are having a plus operator. So 0 plus means what? It represents 0 0 0, any combination of zeros excluding null string, or sorry, excluding epsilon, right? So another one is 0 or 1 instances. So here we can use a question mark. So R question mark represents what? Either it represents R one time or it represents epsilon. So either R is present or it represents epsilon. That means R is absent. Another one is character class. So if you want to represent A or B or C, then we can write it within a square bracket ABC. Similarly, if you want to represent A or B or C or Z, you can represent it A to Z. Similarly, for capital letter also, you can write it capital A to Z. So these are the extensions that we will use in lexical analysis. So lexical analysis for identifier and number. So by using this shorthands, let us write the regular expression for identifier. So identifier should start with an alphabetic character or underscore. So A to Z. So we can write it like this right now by using the shorthands that I have told you in the previous slide. So capital A to Z and underscore. So it will start with an alphabetic character. Then it consists of alphabetic character A to Z, capital A to Z, underscore 0 to 9. So any combination of this, so you can put a star over here. Okay, so this is the regular expression for representing the identifier. Similarly, for representing, so this one I have already told you right now. So letter is this, digit is 0 to 9, so letter underscore, then any combination of letter or digits. So now let us go for number. So for number, what we will do, digit 0 to 9, digits, digit plus. So digit plus means what? It represents all combination of digits from 0 to 9 excluding epsilon. So now the number can be represented is, so digits are mandatory, so there should be at least one digit. Then dot digits question mark. So here question mark means what? Either the decimal point may be there, may not be there, or if it is there, it will be for one time. Decimal, this dot will be one time, and digits represent any combination of 0 to 1s. So after this, as we have put a question mark, it means it is optional. Either one combination or it may be epsilon. Similarly, E plus or minus question mark. It means what? Either E plus or minus may present or may not present. Then digits, then question mark. So either digits and E, it may present. If it is present, it's for one time. Otherwise, it may be absent. So this is the regular expression for numbers. So now let us go through the deterministic finite automatas for identifier. So it is the initial state. So at first it will accept a letter or underscore, then it accepts any combination of letter or digit, letter or underscore or digit. Then after that, if it gets any other symbol apart from this, then it accepts that as a valid identifier. Next, similarly for DFA for integer, integer means what? It may consist of 25, 29, 297, not 29.7, 297. This is the identifier for, sorry, this is the DFA for integers. So here you see we have started from the initial state. It must contain at least one digit. Then after that it contains any number of digits. So here we have put a cycle of self loop over here so that it can accept any number of digits. So where digit represents what? So digit represents 0 to 9. So 0 to 9 means we can write it like this by using the extensions to regular expressions. So similarly DFA for real number. So real number means there are two kinds of real number. One is dotted decimal real number, another one is exponential real number. So for dotted decimal real number, how will you have the real number? So 25.28, 29.12. So here you see, so before the decimal point you may have any combination of digits, then after the decimal point you again have any combination of digits. Okay, so after that if you are getting any other symbol, then that thing will be accepted as a valid real number. So next, DFA for real numbers by using exponential form. Okay, so in exponential form, how you will have 2.39 e to the power 2 or 2.42 e to the power minus 3. So here you see this minus, here you may also put a plus. Okay, so this minus plus is optional, right? Again, you may have a symbol like this, or you may have a literal like this, or constant like this, 2.48. So here you see there is no e. Okay, so for that you will start with a digit, so any combination of digits, then you are having a decimal point, and again you may not have the decimal point, you may have a literal like this, 24 e to the power 2. So here you see, so after that you may have a decimal point, after decimal point you may have some digits, or you will directly have an e, exponential form. So after this e you may have plus or minus. So here you see there is no plus minus, so you will directly jump to here, throw a digit. So here you see, throw a digit, or you may have 24e plus 3, or you may have 24e minus 3. So plus or minus is optional, so it's a optional I have written over here. Then after that you will have any combination of digits. Then if apart from that, if you are getting any other symbol, then you will go to the final state. So this is the DFA for real numbers in exponential form. Now let us go through the DFA for white space. So white space, so here let me define the delimiter. So delimiter may be tab or new line or space. So how will you accept, or how will you recognize a white space? If you are having a delimiter, and after that if you have excuse me, so if you have multiple number of delimiters, then after if you are getting any other symbol apart from tab, new line, space, then it will accept it as a delimiter. So next, DFA for relational operator. So you see, if you have a greater than symbol, so greater than symbol, if you are getting any other symbol, then it will represent the relational operator greater than. If you are having greater than, after that if you are having equal to, then it will accept it and it will represent the lexeme greater than equal to. Similarly, less than equal to, it will represent for this one. Similarly, not operator will be represented like this. Similarly, less than equal to will be represented like this. Similarly, if you are having an equal to operator, it will be represented like this. It may be greater than equal to or only greater than symbol. So the lexeme is greater than equal to or the lexeme is greater than. So this is the DFA for relational operator. Next, error handled by the lexical analyzer. So characters that cannot appear in any token of the source language, for example, @ hash. So if these characters appear, your lexical analyzer will generate an error. Similarly, integer constants out of bounds. So if you will consider the size of integer as 2 bytes, then 2 to the power 16 minus 1, 2 to the power 15 minus 1 is nothing but 32,767. So if you are writing an or assigning an integer which is beyond the range, a good lexical analyzer should generate out of bounds error. Okay. Similarly, identifier names that are too long. In case of C, the maximum length of character string is, or the maximum length of an identifier is 32 characters. Okay. So if you are giving a identifier name which is more than 32 characters, it should generate an error. So these errors should be handled by the lexical analyzer. Similarly, text string that are too long. This is not too. This should be too long. That is maximum length is 256 characters. So if you are entering more than 256 characters, the lexical analyzer should generate an error. Text strings that span over more than one line, so it should also generate an error. So this kind of error should be handled by the lexical analyzer. Next, lex. So a lex is a program generator designed for lexical processing of character input streams. So here you see, so what is the job of lexical analyzer? It scans character by character from the source program and groups the characters into meaningful sequences called as lexemes. Then it checks whether that lexeme is a valid token or not. So in lex, it is a program generator, means it will generate you the lexical analysis page for a particular language. Okay, but what you have to specify? It accepts high level problem oriented specifications for character strings matching and produces a program in general purpose language which recognizes the regular expressions. So what you will do? You have to provide the regular expressions to it, and it by using those regular expressions, it produces a stream of tokens for your source language. Okay. So the regular expressions are specified by the user in the source specification given to lex. Then the lex written code recognizes these expressions in an input stream and partitions the input stream into a string of tokens. Okay. So based on the regular expression, it identifies the tokens that you have specified in terms of regular expression. Okay. So I hope all of you have understood this.